Alright, I think we've started. Ah, sorry about that. Need to make sure that I get the microphone in a good position. I can't hear my own mic. Usually I can. Well, anyway, let's see if it's going on Twitch. And alright, we're getting in an ad. So, hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson. It is December 28th, and this is the December 28th Text Quest dev stream. It's still kind of the weird holiday streaming schedule, so we're going to be focusing on programming tonight as opposed to our usual modeling for Mondays. We're going to be continuing our asynchronous level loading that we did a couple of days ago, and we'll just sort of take a crack at that, see what we can get done. So first things first, I've done some research, figured out a couple of things. So last week we were having problems with the light map being loaded, and that's actually not the asynchronous level loading's fault. It's because the light map that I had baked became outdated. So Unity's been updating its lighting engine a lot, so every version update that they do changes how the light map works. And I just tested that by coming into the scene a short time before the stream started, and the light map was blown out there as well. So it's not that asynchronous level loading was making everything seem washed out, it's that the actual light map itself was just kind of wrong for the new version of Enlighten that they're using. Which means that I'm going to have to bake the light map again. I'm not going to do it on the stream, and I didn't have time to do it before the stream started, unfortunately. So we won't be able to test if the light map loads correctly or not, really. But that's not really a huge concern for me, since that's something that will be fairly easy to test, and I'll be able to do that after the stream. So for now, we're going to continue on with other splash fade. And I don't remember where we were exactly. Unfortunately, I haven't had much time to work on this since the last dev stream, just because of family time. Okay, I was wondering why it... Okay. So, let's see. I do think that I need to, or I am going to be changing how I do level loading. So, I actually like that. That works very well. Oh, why are you mad? Don't save. Okay. That's stupid. Anyway, that's curious. Well, I guess that I just updated to 5.3.1 right before the dev stream. It actually just got done installing like 10 minutes ago. So who knows what kind of fun errors we're going to be getting like this. Apparently it doesn't like you changing siblings whenever you start up, or whenever you do something with something that's disabled. That's weird. Well, in any case, so I'm not too worried about that then. That's something I'm just going to have to change later. So, as of right now, all of the changes that we made seem to be working, so it's, we're actually loading in, we're not getting null reference errors anymore, everything's ported over to JSON, at least for the most part. And that would be my phone. So, for tonight, I think we're going to actually mostly focus on getting more features for the loading screen. So I'm going to go to the menu test. In particular, I'm actually thinking that we're going to... Let's grab this. Pull it under here. That we're going to add an extra section for the loading screen, or for the loading bar. So currently the loading bar will never actually go past 90% is what I've heard. And we saw that last time. Oh, I cleared the console already. Dang it. Where when we were debugging the progress, it would always end at 0.9. Hello, 18 Markwick. I'm doing all right. Surviving the holidays. Currently, we're working on loading screens and asynchronous level loading. How have you been? I haven't seen you for a while. Anyway, where was I? So, since the progress bar will only ever get to 0.9 or 90%, I'm actually going to adjust it so that when it gets to that, let's go to our coroutine real quick. So, SceneLoader is our class doing all the loading. So this bit of code is doing the actual asynchronous level loading, and it will only ever reach 0.9 before level load dot is done becomes true. So what we're going to do is, once this while loop is finished, the value of the progress bar is going to be at 0.9. So what we'll do is we'll change that 0.9, or from 0.9 to 1, or from 90 to 100%. Will actually be us building our substances. So that means we can have a nice clean transition all the way to 100, and then we can finally actually, fade in and position the player and do whatever else we need to do at the beginning of the level. So it's not hard work, but it's kind of a lot of work, I guess. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll keep the debug level load progress here. And I think what we're gonna do is, first off, we are going to change these fast level transitions and level transition stuff to be one coroutine, because they're two separate ones right now, and they do not need to be two separate ones. That does not make sense. So instead, what we're going to do is have private enumerator level transition string level. I guess we'll do bool control bool show load float fade in, and then float fade out. Return null. Not yield return, yield return. Been doing good? Well, that's good. Always glad to hear. Anything exciting for the holidays, or is it just kind of dead for you? Let's see here. So we've added a new level transition. And basically, we're just going to move all of this stuff out to that new one. And we might even, I guess for now I should keep that in there. We might actually even get rid of this whole move the hero thing, because that doesn't make sense for our SceneLoader to do it. So we'll probably actually move this to the either the awake function or another function inside of level manager. So for the time being, I'm going to let's open up level manager. All right, let's see. We can close this. Don't need that. And we don't need this. We know that it works. That would be my cat wanting attention. Yes, I see you, cat. I don't know if you guys can hear her. She's very, very vocal. She loves attention. That's what you get when you get a cat. Okay, so let's grab this. Move this over to level manager. Let's see here. So we have on level was loaded. And this is going to be awkward. Not a big fan of that, but I guess we'll have to deal with that. Protected virtual void on level load complete. All right. Where does find spawn point come from? Let's go to find spawn point. Oh, I guess, did anyone get anything good for Christmas or Hanukkah or any of the other holidays? SceneLoader has one. That's interesting. Not crazy about that. Current spawn point. Right. Right. That's no good. Alright. That's why I did this. I really tied this to my game. That's not great. So it's tied. There's a lot of logic tied directly into text quest here, so we might spend a little bit of time fixing that because that's kind of frustrating and makes it hard to work with. So let's see. I think we could say for the time being we could say global dot last spawn point used, I believe. Alright. And let's go to pull this, find spawn point, X, this, it would go above here, so there we go. Alright. Get all that stuff. And so that was done using current spawn point, which of course is going to be set to the target spawn point. Oy. That makes things a little complicated now, doesn't it? Well, okay. So what I really need is I need to break my SceneLoader functionality into its own thing, and then I need a text quest wrapper for it, so that it can do extra things. I'm not crazy about that, but kinda have to just deal with it, I suppose. So let me do that. I like to have these all be the same. Don't know why they were different. Instance, load level, all this stuff. Alright. Onload level complete. And so onload level complete. That, I think this is fine. Maybe hard to say. When does this get set? It never does. Well, that's discouraging. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I'm just going to go, plunge headfirst in and delete both of these at the same time. We'll just go ahead and do this. Let's see, where was control being used? Set player control. Right. So let's comment that. Is it being used anywhere else? Nope, it is not. Alright. So wait for seconds. Blah, blah, blah. Yield. Close a bunch of menus, which we probably don't actually want right now. Current scene. Current level. So, man, it would just be kind of faster to rewrite this from the ground up. But let's do a fade in. Call this fade out. This is fade out. Okay, so all that stuff should be fine. sprites is just completely nasty and annoying to try and fix. But that's what happens when you, yeah, see all that stuff is, yeah. Well, good. So this is all stuff that I knew was going to have to happen eventually. Isn't that nice? So, what we should do is load level. Let me think. SceneLoader. I want to give it a generic loading class. No, it doesn't really care about that. Scene loaded event. Right. Let me do public static scene event. Oh, so that needs to be called event. Scene loading. Start delegate. I think I'm going to also refactor this to be scene loading end. Okay. So, blah, 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 blah. Target level, false, 2F, 2F. Right. False. Should load. 0F, 0F. Or, no, 2F. And that should basically take care of that, I think. So we should be able to at least go back to Unity and have it compile. It's not going to be really functional yet because I'm going to have to redo how Scene Manager, SceneLoader works, I suppose. All right. Let me see. Where did I put this? It's probably under. Yeah, I figured as much. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go over here. We'll add this to our Hoosier Games base. Go ahead and move this over here. Let that load. Gotta compile. And create C# script. Text request. SceneLoader. Probably could have called it TQ SceneLoader, but it's fine. Alright, let's open this up, reload all, because it's going to have to close that tab. Open up SceneLoader. Open up text request SceneLoader. Namespace text request. All this crap. Using HoosierGames.common. Alright, so rename this to be in the namespace HoosierGames.common. Right. So, let's make this protected. Let's copy this stuff, put it here. Let's do this one as protected. Alright, let's copy these guys, put them here. It's fading. Not crazy about that, but I suppose it's fine. Let's see here. Load level. Right. So we're gonna want to copy all of this basically. Move it over here. That way we can change this. What are you saying that instance doesn't? Nice try, but instance totally works here because I made it protected. It's not existent. Oh, right, because I haven't made it dry from it. Bah. SceneLoader. There we go. That makes it work. There we go. Right. And now we're going to start doing actual changes. So first things first, let's basically cull a bunch of crap. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this entirely. Get rid of this. Fast load level. And now let's not even bother with that. Don't even want to bother with that. It's just pointless. Okay. So this is going to be fun. So going to be protected, virtual, and then protected, virtual, enumerator, level, transition, string, level. Yield, return, null. That should fix all of those errors. Alright. So now, that's super odd and super awkward. Great. So this really isn't going to do anything. It's literally just going to be doing levels. So let's get rid of all of this crap. That means that we're going to be, move this stuff up here. Get rid of these two guys. It's all fine. Fade in, fade out. Right. Let's get rid of these. We're not going to have fade out events or anything because that's not going to be what this does. So I can get rid of fade event. Excuse me. This is all just going to be target. All right. Don't have this. Don't have any of that. Get rid of this stuff. Just get rid of all of this stuff. Get rid of all this stuff. Basically have this be scene loading start. So while overload is done, blah blah blah. Yield return null here, I guess. Then we will say scene loading end. That's basically all we need to do. everything else is gravy. Um, we have something called current. What is right there? Okay. Let's just get rid of all of this then. That's all good. Now it's very simple. It's a very simple wrapper. So I'm going to copy this, paste this, and then now instead of being an async operation, we're just going to say load scene. What are my overloads? Okay, so I'm going to have to add wrappers to that stuff. So let's get rid of this. Get rid of all this. I guess that's true. It would just be a void, wouldn't it? Alright, there we are. Protected virtual, that's all fine. Alright, so now I'm going to have public static void load level async string target level. It's going to be instance dot start coroutine instance dot level transition async target level. All right, and we'll need a couple of others, I think, which are going to be protected virtual, oh, not searchable, virtual void level transition int level index, I believe was the other one. Let's copy this. Level index. That should be fine as well, I believe. Alright, except you're gonna rename these to be scene transitions. Ha! Excuse me. Scene transition. Alright. So, blah blah blah. All this stuff seems fine. And then the last thing we would have would be protected virtual void scene transition string level or scene crap. I don't remember what it was called. Copy this over. Load scene mode. There we go. There we go. Alright. Let's copy this over. Let's just place this right here. over. Just place this right here. And we'll actually just call scene transition level mode dot single. Is that in there? All right. Copy this over. Transition, scene index, single, scene index, then load mode. All right. So that's our synchronous level loading taken care of, which is nice. Go ahead and copy this over, move this to the bottom, move this to be right about here. Move this up, delete that, line, and now we're gonna have to add these. This an int. Scene index. Copy that over. Put that right there. So this is essentially just a convenient wrapper that has sort of fade in and fade out events or scene events to let you know when a scene is loaded or not. So scene transition, blah 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 blah. That all seems right. And now we have to basically do the exact same thing. I don't know if I want to do scene transition async. Yeah, I do. And that's basically going to be. Actually, that's actually pretty easy. So let me see. Let me try this. Scene manager dot get scene at, is that the index? Okay. So that actually means that this can be even easier, and this can just be as simple as scene transition. Am I spelling scene wrong? No, that's spelled right. It's just semantic saturation. So scene manager dot get scene at. That should be scene index dot name, then load mode. So nice. That makes it even easier because it's all just contained right here. Move this to the bottom. All right. So there's all the synchronous stuff now. All I have to do now is our asynchronous calls, which actually won't be too bad. Because it's basically just going to be sort of copy paste this 4 times. With the last one having a load scene mode. Load mode. Having this one with an int. This one with an int. Load scene mode. Load mode. Right. Alright. Let's just go load scene async. Target level. Load scene mode dot single. So dot single means is what the normal loading type is like. So it'll unload the current scene you're in, then load the next one. Additive means that it's just going to add the new scene to the old scene, so everything will be there in one floating blob, basically. So that would be for stuff like level streaming and whatnot. But since I'm not doing that, I want to. The default expected behavior will be you want to unload your current scene. So I'm just going to make that the default if you don't give it a specific load type. Load scene async. Oh, well, that's a scene manager dot get scene at target level dot name. There we go. Ah, dang it. Copy that. Target level. Load scene async. Alright. All that stuff out of there. And then we have target level. Load scene async. Target level. Load load scene mode dot single. Alright. So now we should be all fine. Right? Yep, that looks right. So, let's move on to our actual coroutine, make sure that it's all nice. It looks like it's pretty nice. I'm not going to have a function here for that, because that can just be overridden. Let's do that as well. Alright, so I think our base scene loader will basically do what we want now, and all it's going to do is just load scenes. It's going to handle doing either synchronous or asynchronous loading of scenes, and each time it'll give you a specific, it has events that it will call whenever it starts and whenever it ends. I'm not going to go crazy and have like callbacks that you can give it. I don't think that that's necessary. Since I have events there, it would be easier for things to listen for those, I feel. So, instead of doing that, we're going to go ahead and start on the text quest wrapper for it now. And let's see what we do. So SceneLoader just loads scenes, which means that text quest scene loader is going to have to take care of the things that text quest specifically needs. So, whew, man, this is going to be tough. Actually, don't know if I can even do anything like worthwhile from the start. I don't think you can. That's kind of annoying. So SceneLoader is solid code, but it's basically worthless as it is to TextQuest. Because TextQuest has so much that it has to have happen while the scenes are loading. So, boo. Well, let's go up to here. Oh dear. Right. No, I don't think it's... Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's just not as quick and easy as I would have liked. By the way, welcome to the stream, Quantum Thinker. Good to see you again. How have your holidays been so far? We're going to have to do load scene async. So this is actually going to be text quest scene loader. And let's see here. I think I should reevaluate how I do this. Been getting some good work done. Yeah, it's the holiday season, so you don't have as many distractions. You have time off from most people have time off from work, um, or classes or whatever. Um, so let's see here. I want to get a. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to sort of bite the bullet and basically make a duplicate class that does more than the basic scene loader does. Um, it kind of sucks, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Um, okay. Well, first off, I can make these static. No reason to make them non-static. So I no longer need to say instance here. Current level. Ah, right. It's going to need Unity Engine. Dot scene management. Current level. All right. So all that seems to be a little bit better. So let's go ahead and start coding these. So we're going to do public static void load scene level ID target level spawn point ID target spawn bool show load equals false. I think that's probably fine. All right. So, right. So this is going to be fun. Okay. So we're going to have float fade in equals 2f float fade out equals 2f bool show load equals false, and I think that's basically all I really want. So that takes care of all of that, and it's overloaded, which is nice. I don't have to have like 4 separate functions. So we load scene, blah 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 blah. Get rid of all this crap, and basically I think we can duplicate this and override it. Override. Oof. Really? That's gonna suck. I think I'm just gonna sort of take the easy way out here and have a protected virtual void scene load start. Nothing happened there. Protected virtual void scene load end. And all these are going to be doing, I think, is just those. We're going to be sending out those events. End. Take your time. We're just doing basic repetitive coding, kind of the grunt work. Always fun. So let's go to start Scene load start. Scene load end. Really? Oh, that must be under Unity Engine. Okay. So I need both of those. Unity Engine. Alright, there we go. So, okay, well, we can get rid of that extra yield return null. Don't need that there. Don't need that here either. So this is going to be fun. And we have our fade in events and fade out events, I believe, right here. Yep. Okay. So. Oh, you know what? It's not even going to be an override, which kind of sucks. But we're going to have. How are we going to do this? Hello, Scorpion and Illuminati. What did you use for the graphics layer? What do you mean? This is a basic sort of interface. I guess that we're working on. It's not meant to have any graphics to it. The actual engine I'm using is Unity, so that I haven't made like my own graphics side of things. I'm just sort of leaning on the Unity engine for it. So let's go. So we have target level. I don't think I want to do target spawn. I do want to do float fade in and then float fade out. And I should probably do show load. Alright. So this we can call. Oh, see, we can't do instance. Ah, that sucks. That's the problem with doing static events. Oh, how did I learn C Sharp? Well, Unity program, or you can program in C Sharp for Unity. So Unity can use either C Sharp, JavaScript, or Boo. No one uses Boo though, and increasingly few people are using JavaScript. So I just sort of rolled my head across the keyboard until I learned C Sharp. And that's how I got started, but I actually ended up getting a job at an educational games company, and I just soaked up all the knowledge I could from the lead programmer there because he was very, very good. Um, so that's sort of how I learned how to do C Sharp. It was initially self-taught, and then it was just like see how professionals do it, and I was like, yay! Now I can do something close to that level. Not quite that well, but so you just sort of have to do it. There's no real like magic way to do it, at least not that I know of. Let's see. Lost my place. What was I thinking of? Scene load start. Actually, so that's not going to happen right away because the first thing that's going to happen is fade in begin event, and then fade out. Oh no, sorry, fade in end event. So we're going to have stuff going on in between there. And their new demo, not yet. I'm currently working on revamping the loading screen. I think once I get the loading screen done, I will be able to post a new demo. I'll have to go back through and reattach some of the object information because that kind of got that all kind of got messed up in the porting process. So it's not gonna be terribly long if I'm lucky. No, probably not by New Year's. Probably early January, though. I would like to get a new demo out. But there might need to be some polish that needs to get done on that, and I need to get music for it because I don't have any right now. And beta testing. when I do beta testing. Actually, if you're interested in beta testing, I should mention that there's a mailing list now, and it has an option to sort of be reached about. If you're interested in doing beta testing, it has a little option that says like I want to, or I'm interested in doing beta testing or other like weird backstage stuff. So if you're interested in beta testing, there's a link below the stream for the mailing list. Yeah, you can sign up to that, and then I'll try to keep that in order and let everyone know when the beta testing starts, because it'll happen eventually, but I don't know when. Hopefully within the coming months. So we have a fade in, blah blah blah. So we're gonna want to go to UI dot. See, here's where it gets kind of. How do I want to do this? So we have UI.get fade view dot fade in fade out. See, this is yeah, that's my problem. I can't do that because the fade out view used to be my loading screen, so I need to actually change how that works. Hooray! I'm just gonna open up Unity and see what things blow up. Okay, this is interesting. Oh, why did that do that? Okay, that's weird. Oh, look at that. Isn't that great? Oh, right. All of the level transitions are going to be completely messed up now, aren't they? Right. Just copy that. Close this. And before I forget, let's go ahead and finish this off real quick. So start. Oh, right. That's why I didn't do that, because I have to... gross. So, let's go private static TQ instance. What the... Oh, right. Give it a type. Text request SceneLoader. Get return instance as text request SceneLoader. There we go. So we can say current level equals target level, current spawn point equals target spawn, and then TQ instance dot start coroutine level transition. Oh, right. Instance dot TQ instance dot level transition async. I think it's scenes dot get level bind or get level name, right? Yep. Target level, and then let's see, float, fade in, fade out, and show load. Oop, I think we need one more, right there. Aha! Yeah, in my normal C# programming, the first thing I always look for is a semicolon, and then a public variable if I just created a public variable. Yeah, But for the most part, I'm usually pretty accurate whenever I don't have to second guess myself. But sometimes if I'm doing like a weird formatting, like for this, I made them all one line, which is usually I usually don't do that, but since it's only doing that, just to save space, I was lazy and just put them all in the same line, which makes it sort of weird to look at. But that's probably why I didn't notice that I had an extra semicolon there. Um, all right, so all this stuff seems to be going well. Let's let that go. Let's let it compile, and we're gonna have to go through all of these. I forgot. Really? Let that go again. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. We got some stuff down here. SceneLoader, 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 all that stuff. Let that compile. This is probably my least favorite part about making a newer, more robust system, is that you have to basically smash the old system with a hammer. Um, hmm, really? Why aren't you liking that? Ah, right. Huh. There we go. That's fine. All right. Scene loader. That's all fine. The worst mind bender is when a generic or an inline lambda having multi. Yeah, I think I do everything I can to avoid multiple declarations or multiple lines in the same line. So if I'm going to have two semicolons, I try to put them in different points. I'll even do that for load scene target level. Let's see, box collider. Okay. I guess that would be what we want. All right, the control crap. Nah, that's fine. We'll take a look at that later. Um, and yeah, lambda stuff can get really messy if you're not careful because it's all shorthand normally. Because it doesn't technically have to be, but most of the time it is. Load scene. Excuse me. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. I must have told it to not show. Ah, that's what it would be. I told it to not show loading screens by default because I had to do it really quickly. So this was actually a terrible, terrible way for me to do things. This isn't the worst thing I've done. It won't be that bad to fix further on. Um, yeah, lambdas involve a lot of implicit associations, which are always fun. It does. It make. I will say it makes looking for things like if you're looping through a list to look for something, a um, lambda function is pretty nice, but that's really the only time I try to use them. So if you're just searching for something in particular, but let's see. This load scene. That there. Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing this like one script at a time, aren't we? Yeah, one script at a time. Ah, right. I'm going to set that to be true. Load scene. They're fun. That's one way to put it. All right. I gotta redo how I do these menu controls too. But it's fine for now. That's another thing I need to fix. There we go. Oh, the tutorial. I want to get rid of you. Is anything using you? No. You're going away. Well, I'll keep you one for a little bit longer. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, they tend to slow things down, but they're also you don't really have a lot of good ways to search through lists or other forms of arrays. And lambdas tend to be the quickest way to get things to work to do what you want. Um, let's get rid of demo and crap. Is this even being used? Find all references. No, it's not being used in the code at least. But yeah, I probably should do that for now. Don't need that actually. Don't need this second one either. Get rid of splash delay, get rid of menu controls, get rid of door. Wait. SceneLoader. Load scene. 0F. And that's the only thing I need to do for that, I believe. Ah, crap. Load scene. 0F. Again, I believe all I have to do for that. Go ahead and get rid of all these. Load scene. 0F. Use F# 2. But how is F#? I've been curious about that ever since I found out that it exists. And from what my understanding is, it's like a more like it's like a higher level form of C sharp, correct? I think. At least that's what I garnered from looking at it. Um, but I don't know if that's actually what it is, and I haven't taken the time to mess around with it. Just like I think D sharp, I feel like that's a thing too, and I haven't really looked at it. Maybe it was just F sharp. I thought there was a D sharp, but I haven't really looked at them. They were interesting, but I haven't really looked at them yet, just because I haven't been curious enough. Okay, so all this stuff is fine. Slowly moving through all of our things that used SceneLoader before. Load scene 0f. That's the only thing that matters. Load scene 0f. All right. Slowly working our way. Jeez. Load scene. Let's see. 0f. That's all I have to do there. I do like the new way of phrasing it, though. It makes it a lot easier and faster to do things. Load scene. 0f. Is the stream a little blurry tonight, or is that just me? It could be that I'm viewing it in its reduced size, so it might not be appropriate, or it might not be that clear to me. So actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't tell me what resolution I'm streaming in. I mean, I set it ahead of time, but it doesn't actually tell me while I'm doing it. Let's see. It's a great functional language, no visual UI. It uses spacing in front of lines as delimiters, so it's a bit okay. Okay, I wasn't sure. Um, it's hard to tell if it's like an actual high quality from my end because I'm looking at it in the basic Twitch window, like not full screen or anything. So I don't know if it's just like because it's compressing 100 or 1080 down to like some way smaller resolution. But so load scene 0f. Load scene 0f. Let's go back here. Okay. Well, then I'm not worried about it. As long as it's streaming all right for you guys, then I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, I've been curious about F sharp for a while. I probably won't ever get into it, but I've been eyeballing it just to see what it does. Um, but still, lines or no, so it doesn't use semicolons. It uses just lines basically. Uh, that bugs me. That's like Swift, I think, for iOS applications. I hate not having semicolons. It's so messy because it feels like it's like when you're writing a paper and you don't use punctuation. You just use capital letters to signify you're starting a new sentence, and I'm like, that's not good enough. You have to have punctuation. And to me, semicolons are the punctuation of the programming world. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that after if you've been programming for a while, it's just muscle memory. You always type, and then you press semicolon. In fact, if I ever switch off from coding and I start writing a paper or something, um, I'll have to stop myself from hitting semicolon at the end of my sentence occasionally, because I'll be like, oh wait, this isn't code, this is words. Okay, so it looks like we've caught everything up to date now. So we need to actually have. Let's do our loading screen. So we'll just make this the load-in, or the loading view. Let's see, so we have open, select minigame, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is pretty basic, which is good. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to have open, and no, not quite. We're going to do this. On submit, blah, blah, blah. Do public void fade in. Let's do float duration. We can say equals 2f. And then we'll say base.open. And we'll have a little coroutine down here. That's private enumerator. Fade. Now we'll do fade coroutine. And then we'll have float duration, float start, float end. Am I not using? Oh, nope. I need using system.collections. There we go. All right. So we'll have start coroutine, fade coroutine. We'll copy all. Oh no, not that. Copy all of that. That down to here. Ah, crud. I guess we'll do fade in coroutine. Fade in coroutine. Duration. And then I can get rid of all this stuff. Alright. A good part to get used to is that it's all immutable. A good thing until you need to mutate something. Yeah. Well, I assume F sharp is probably a safer language than C sharp is. I assume. So it's probably it's probably more locked down than C sharp, if I understand it correctly. I could be wrong on that, but that was sort of one of my assumptions on it. So I can get rid of open here. And blah, 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 blah. On submit. What is... right. No, that's fine. probably say if current minigame equals null, return. Okay. So fade in, public void fade out, float duration equals, say 2f again. It can write standalones, but it's mostly used to write libraries. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Let's see here. So we have our fade in. Let's go float t equals 0f. While t is less than duration, do t plus equals time dot delta time. Yield return null. Then we will select our minigame, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Actually, we're going to say less than 1f divided by duration. Alrighty then. So, this is going to be fun. Oh dear. You know what? Screw it. Let's just go public image, root image. So before, for my fade out, I had a solid black background and then text in front of it. And what would happen is the solid black background would fade in first, and then after about fading halfway to black, so when it was about 50% transparent, the text would fade in at twice the speed so that they would both reach 100% opacity at the very same time. I'm not going to do that, though, because I would have to do that for a lot of graphics, so and it's fine without that. Did I come up with more mini games? No, I haven't been able to find or think of any better things to do that are simplistic enough that they only use keyboard input and don't require a lot of effort on my part to build. So in the short term, I think we're fine with just 2 and then a half because we have the riddles, but I'm not putting a lot of stock in the riddles by themselves. So for the time being, I think we're just going to be fine with the 2, and then we'll see if I can come up with more later on to make things a little bit more varied. But they are just loading screens, so I'm not too worried about needing to make them super awesome and crazy. But for the time being, we just have the 2. So we have our blah blah blah, and then we'll say root image dot canvas renderer dot set alpha t. All right. That's somewhat problematic now, isn't it? Right. Well, let's see how that works. So I think that's fine on its own. Let's do this. Call this fade out. One F is greater than or equal to 0F minus equals, and then we'll do what I usually do before these things, which is set alpha 0F, set alpha 1F, All right. You can write a DLL that generates a riddle with an answer. Then when you think of more, you just update the DLL. Yeah, let's make this super complicated for me to actually update anything. Have to go through 10 steps and make a library inside of Visual Studio and then import that into the project. It'll be perfect. Why don't I just port it over to Malabulge? Okay, so we have, I think it's all good actually right here. So load amount fade out. Oh right. I have to do base.open again. And let's just copy this and fade out coroutine. Ah, crap. Oh no, never mind. Loading bar, loading bar, loading bar. Set, good, I do set load amount. That makes me happy. Okay. Porting to Malabulge is the simple part. Sure, if I was a crazy person. Let's see. Materials generated. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Materials generated. Generate materials. Do public float materials built get return 0f. All right, let's go to definition. And oh joy. So okay. I think what we're gonna want to do is stuff float value equals 0f. We're gonna return value, and we're gonna say you do Malabulge, or you do you do the DLL creation, because those are two very different things. And actually, I've had trouble making DLLs work in Unity just because of how frustrating the DLL restrictions are for Unity. Like you can't use 4, you have to use netcode 3.5. Like that's the newest I think you can do. So it gets a little frustrating because you can't have overloaded functions inside your DLL, which is annoying. Well, hey, if it's what you like to do and you're good at it, more power to you. I wish I could do it better than I can. But yeah, I've had a lot of trouble getting them to work properly. So blah blah blah, float value, and we're gonna say materials. Is that what it is? Yep, materials. All right. Let's do float total equals materials dot count. Fake the overloads? What do you mean? Oh, yeah. I mean, you can fake the overloads by having multiple functions. Yeah, yeah. That's how I. If you notice, that's how I was setting up the SceneLoader stuff because this is the type of thing that I would probably stick in a DLL, since it's in the HoosierGames.com namespace. So we have load scene, which calls load scene, which calls load scene, which calls load scene. Oh, ooh, ah, oh, wait, this isn't right. Oh, look at that. We're missing a load scene already. I think. No. No, I got rid of it because we didn't. That's not right. Oh. Well, isn't that stupid of me? Um, yeah. Apparently, in my haste, I forgot to do this, the whole sync mode stuff. So that would have been frustrating. Let me copy this stuff over. Yeah, I don't like having to write like 4 functions just so that you can let people who are using your code be flexible. I mean, I do it because it makes sense. Um, but it is frustrating to write that. I really don't like doing it. Move this up to here. Let's copy this. Put it here. And let's copy this and move it down here. So that means that this is going to be load scene, scene index, load scene mode dot single, load scene, scene manager dot get scene at scene index dot name, load mode. Yeah, I definitely like. I wish, like I said, I wish I could do libraries better and more often, but I haven't quite learned how to do them properly. Let's see. Get level. Let's see. Dot single. So it's very time consuming for me to create them, and they almost never work properly outside of my own projects. So I tend not to do them very often, which sucks because I like them. They're nice since you don't have to compile them every time you recompile your code, and they have a lot of other benefits like being one file as opposed to like 1,500. All right, refactor this. Okay, so that's all there as a complete side quest. Let's let this compile. It's been a while since I've had it compile in Unity again. We'll go back to our scene loader. We'll do UI.get loading view dot fade in, and then we'll have a yield return new wait for seconds, fade in. No, I mean, you're not distracting me. That's just me being spacey. Um, although not Kevin Spacey, because that would be very cool. I don't know where that came from. That was a bad joke. Let's see. You want to get fade in. So I'm doing the fade in right here. Then I'm waiting for the fade in to finish, and then I'm actually going to start the asynchronous level loading. And then, let's see, blah, blah, blah. That'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure how this is going to compound if it has a fade in time of 0. So that might not work very well, but we'll see. So scene load event. Actually, that's not quite done. So we're going to have level manager current manager equals find object of type level manager. I hate doing this because find object is very expensive, but for the time being I don't know another way to do it. Unless I have current manager dot. No, of course I don't have an instance. That's fine. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say while current manager dot materials generated, or while not that, then we will have that level load is done. We will say, we'll also say loading view equals that. Ah, dang it. It's fine. Hit that. View dot fade in, blah, blah, blah. And we'll say view dot set load amount level load dot progress. So that's getting our basic asynchronous level loading happening. And then we are going to want to do, that'll only get us to 0.9. So the rest of it, the other 0.1%, is going to have to be when our materials are being generated. So we need to go back to SceneManager because I never finished doing this. For each, I guess, oh crap. Not gonna work, is it? No, that was right. For each procedural mat in materials, if mat dot is processing, I believe. Hold on, let me check down here. I have a thing for it, or at least I thought I did. Here we go. Rebuild materials. While okay, blah blah blah. While material is, or if mat is processing, if not mat dot is processing, float done equals 0. Actually, it's going to be an int, as is that. Crap. Nope, we're going to cast them to floats because they're going to be a percentage later. So 0f dot to float. Done, plus plus. All right. And then finally, our value is going to be, I guess we don't need this total. Just copy this. Value is going to be equal to done divided by that. Okay. So, blah, blah, blah. So while our current material or our current manager materials are not generated, which I'm assuming I probably that's fine. Um, we are going to say float. No, that's fine. I don't need to do that. This is gonna be tough. View dot set load amount 0.9f plus current manager. It's going to be a mathf.lerp between 0 and 0.1 or 0.1f based on current manager dot materials built normalized. Okay. And then we'll have yield return null. Okay, we're getting there. And then last, we will have fade out begin event, fade out end out. Come on, not dafe. Fade out end event. And then view dot fade out as our duration. All right, and then last thing in loading view, we're gonna say close. And that means that we're gonna have public override close. Go ahead and do public override close. Oh, I guess, right, close didn't have any parameters that got passed to it, did it? Base.close, and then what? Yeah, we'll just do a to do here. I'm not sure if we're gonna need it. Clean up minigame. So all that stuff seems to be fine. Okay, see what happens. If I have any compiler errors. Let's see. Okay, seems like everything's fine. So let's go to our root. Hooray, it is an image. Put that right there. And that might be all we need to do. So let's just go ahead and apply that. Let's delete this. And let's see what happens when we start from our very beginning. Close our asset store, close future games. Let's go to splash fade. Okay. See if we instantly get a null reference. Right there! What do we got? Let's see. Scenes.getLevel ID. Where's the error? Right there. Yes. That's instance thing. This is something I've been trying to do properly for a while now. I think it's going to end up just having to do this. Tell this not to. Yep. Okay, good. All right, let's see if that fixes some of our problems. Oh dear. So we got a bit of a flash there. Oh right, I didn't. Right, my fault. If show load. Do that. Ah, God dang it. That's the other problem. Alright. I hate doing this, but... I'll just do this then. Alright. So we have if show load. And if show load. Copy this over. If show load. All that stuff. And... Oh, actually. No, that's fine. Okay. There we go. So let's go ahead and get that. And now we can play. Let's see what happens. Right out. Nice. Software. Team Advent. No errors. That's good so far. Let's do start. New game. Chris. Yes. Normal. I'm right-handed. We're green. And I am a hero. Ha ha! Nice! There's the... There we go. Okay. So, I mean, obviously you'll notice that we instantly fell through the floor. But that's because of things not quite uh, being done loading. Last thing we're going to do is actually do this as well. Of course, we're going to have to friggin' copy this again. Set amount 1F here. So that way it'll actually end the loading. So, hooray! So we have it filling up a little bit further. It's actually getting to 0.9, and then we have it generate the materials before it fades in. So all we have to do now is we actually have to tell. I think we're going to have to move a lot of the level manager functionality out of awake. Let me move down here. And into on level load complete. Which actually... let's just go ahead and say this. Current manager dot level crap. Right. That's not public, is it? That should be public. Let's move this up. protected, blah, blah, blah. Alright. On level load complete. So that'll at least tell it to do more proper things at the appropriate time. So we're going to end up having to move things out of like start and on level was loaded, and instead put them in on level load complete, I think. But for the time being, I'm not going to worry about that tonight. So to do. I just use to do. It's my favorite. So to do move scene load functionality to on scene load complete. Okay, so that makes me happy. That wasn't too bad trying to get that all to work. And we actually broke out the functionality of SceneLoader a bit, so it's its own thing now. Okay, and I think we might call the stream a little early tonight, just because it's still the holiday season, and I have a buddy who wants to play. What's it called? Vermintide. There we go. Warhammer Vermintide, which is a horde-based game mode thing. And I haven't played a good multiplayer game in a while. So, gonna go off and take a little bit of a break in the spirit of the holiday season and taking it easy. So we'll be back on tomorrow, though. We'll see. It'll probably go on for a minimum of 2 hours tomorrow, since that's kind of what we've established as the norm, is 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours occasionally. That's brutal, Quantum. Just a downsizing thing, or is it a whole department's going poof? Or is it just like I guess it could be any number of things. Yeah, it's brutal. I do understand that feel a little bit. Well, hopefully you have something lined up, though. I don't know what any backup plans you have, but hopefully you'll be able to find something. I mean, you at least know your stuff, so shouldn't be too hard to get or to find work. So yeah, we're gonna call it a night. Tomorrow we'll probably do more async level loading tests to try and get everything to line up properly. And I'll try to get light maps actually baked. That way we can make sure that they're loading properly. So that way we know that things are actually all loading correct and it's not going to do something weird at runtime. But that'll be tomorrow, because I actually have to spend like 30 minutes baking the light maps. Alright, well, it's good that you have a job that you're interviewing for, at least. So, well, I hope you get it. So, good luck. Good luck. And I think that'll do it for the stream tonight. So, as always, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.